Justin Hawkins writes again. Good day to you. It is I, Justin Hawkins. This is Justin Hawkins Writes Again, my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for those notifications, and then you won't miss anything. Today I'm going to talk about this thing that's happened with Dua Lipa. She's been accused by a sort of a little-known Florida reggae band of stealing, or not stealing, ripping them off, basically. I think the claim is probably plagiarism, I think. I don't know what the exact details of the litigation is, but it's basically, the idea is that the song that she released in 2020 sounds exactly the same as the one that they released in 2017.
Now pay attention to the lyrics and the melody of the other song. So I'll play them together now, just this one chunk, and this happens across the whole song. So you hear that moonlight all night? It's the same melody. It's practically the same words.
I think that the people that wrote the Dua Lipa song are probably saying, well, we didn't know about that reggae one. Why would we know about a Florida reggae thing that was only released on SoundCloud? Well, it was released on SoundCloud and it is exactly the same. And unless there's a time machine involved, you've got to say it's influenced by it. I think there's something like... okay, so say, like, for example, I don't want to use the Eagles as an example because I'll get shut down. Say, for example, a band comes out with a song that goes, and they might say, well, you know, that song's 20 years old now, and I'm only 17, and I've written this song. So how can I possibly have been influenced by it? I've never heard it. I've never heard any music. I grew up in a vacuum, a cultural vacuum, a cultural void even, and my parents never allowed me to listen to music. The first time I picked up a guitar, I played that riff, and it was a thought and a song that occurred to me completely independently of the Darkness, who wrote the other song. But I don't think any of that stuff matters. It's the same song. Doesn't matter whether you think you've heard it or not. I think, shouldn't it be, if you write a song that somebody else has already written, that's tough shit. Somebody else has already written it. You've got to give them some money, haven't you? I think Dua Lipa should be forced to give some money to the Florida reggae band. Surely, it's the same song, same chords, same melody, same approach. The tempo's nearly exactly the same. It's really, really similar, eerily similar. It can't be a coincidence. It just can't. I've been in a situation, like a writing situation, with for an artist that I won't name, but his name rhymes with Beau McElderberry. And it was a writing session that I went to Sweden to do. And then when I got there, they said, "Oh, we've got a pre-approved sample." So they knew that the chorus was going to be a song by Matthew Wilder called "Break My Stride." Nobody gonna break my stride. I'll play it for you, then you know the song I'm talking about.
Hey, Spieler 1, bist du bereit für das hier?
Fuck off.
Nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow
me down. Oh no, I've got to keep on moving. So they knew they wanted to use that chorus, but they wanted a different verse because the verse of the Matthew Wilder original song just seems to be about like I think he goes to like the local village, and then somebody says, "Hang on a minute, I'm trying to do my laundry here. Stop interrupting me." And then so that's how they justify the "nobody gonna break my stride" because I'm too busy doing laundry or something. I don't know. Anyway, they didn't think it was very current. They didn't think it was ideal for Joe McElderberry, so they suggested that we write a different verse. And I worked with a Swedish songwriter to change it. It was not what I would describe as a rewarding collaborative process, because it was kind of like, well, it just adds an extra layer of cynicism to the process of making a hit. In that instance, like the Matthew Wilder, or whoever it was that wrote the Matthew Wilder song, they said to us, well, doesn't matter what you do with the verse, it's a pre-approved sample, so whatever you do, we're going to say yes to it. It's like, okay, well, you really care. You really care about your song. But I think I've heard of another story that, I mean, I'm probably paraphrasing, but there was another artist who, I won't mention the name, but it rhymes with me pense. No, it doesn't rhyme with that. Anyway, it's a female artist, and she had a song, and I think she'd heard somebody's original composition on MySpace. They had like nobody was listening to this original version. It was just a MySpace thing, but the chorus was lifted and transplanted into a very, very successful song by an iconic, a huge multi-million selling, multi-award winning artiste. And then after the event, the award-winning artiste went to the lesser-known songwriter whose MySpace account had like maybe 2,000 friends on it or something like that, and offered them a load of money. And to their credit, they said, "No, you stole my song. You should pay me more than this. I should be compensated fairly as the original writer of the stuff that you plagiarized." And refused to be bullied. Probably never worked again. Might not have worked in their favour, but a very noble way to go down in the flames. So bear in mind that Dua Lipa is an artist that did this.
Stayed at home, 'cause I was doing better alone.
So dam 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 dam, saying the riff off that INXS song. That's what it is. That's just saying the riff of the INXS song. Need You Tonight, isn't it? I mean, maybe INXS got some money for that, I don't know. But, you are talking about an artist that will just listen to INXS and then just say the riff. And that's going to be the chorus.
When you said hello.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's fucking terrible. Dua Lipa singing along to that riff. Fucking shit. That is it's a great... I love INXS, but my God, that Dua Lipa thing is actual shit. And it is basically that, isn't it? I just typed in Dua Lipa levitating rip-off.
I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
Okay, so I think the hook is I'm levitating, I'm levitating. But the chorus really is I mean, it's not that unusual. I mean, it's a fairly generic thing. But it is really remarkably similar to the other stuff. I don't know. Who knows? Can't weigh in on a thing like that. I suppose it's half about intent. I think it's probably subconscious. That's what it is. I think we all know that there are people on the payroll at record companies whose job it is to just listen to new music and find stuff. They're called scouts. They used to go to pubs and watch bands play. In the pop world, they used to... don't know what they used to do. They used to look for people who are really good at karaoke nights, I suppose. I don't know what they do. I've never wanted to be a scout. I think it would be really depressing. And also, how many demos would you have to listen to? That's what you do. You listen to demo tapes that people send in. But I also think that a scout's job would be to scour the things like the SoundClouds and so on and so forth. So I think to sort of suggest that, there's absolutely no way we could have heard that because we never listened to, reggae made by people in Florida who have SoundCloud accounts. I think people do. I think there are people whose job it is to listen to things like that to see if there is a chorus that would bear lifting, or if there's an artist that's exciting for a record company, or something that could become a viral sensation. People are always on the lookout for that. They don't just sit there and wait for it to fall in their laps. They actively pay people to go and listen for stuff like that. So I just think that that's a weak argument to suggest that they've never had access to that thing that's on the internet. If indeed that is their argument, I haven't done any research on this. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. This is the sort of thing where it's litigious and it's a little bit crimey, and it's kind of like a little bit. I don't know how I feel about it when it's like, if somebody's. I suppose you need to find out the intent, because if somebody's taking the intellectual sort of copyright of a person that sat there and created something, and then hasn't endeavoured to remunerate them as a result, and had a massive hit with it that wins prizes, and she does it on video awards and things like that. And then those guys from Florida who have exactly the same song that came out three years earlier don't get anything. That's really unfair. I do wonder why they waited until now, though. Do you think that was a strategy as well? Do you wait until the song's a huge hit and then say, hang on a second, that huge? Because I mean, if you pipe up when the song just comes out, then you don't get that 3 years of Dua Lipa traveling around the world and really making that a valuable commodity. They just won't promote it if they think something like that's happening. They'll just let it die because they don't want to lose a huge amount of money to some guys that play reggae in Florida. So they've waited for it to be a really valuable claim, which is a little bit cynical in itself, but I think under these circumstances, you'll forgive it, I think. They should cash in, really. I don't know. Some people just don't care. I think maybe it's just different now. That's part of it. Maybe it's the TikTok generation. Nobody cares, do they? It's just like, oh, sounds. Yeah, well, that's it. Well, we'll just do sounds. Yeah, it sounds exactly like something that came out 3 years ago, but we like the sounds of it, so it's all right, isn't it? No, it's not all right. Write something original, or fuck the fuck off. Justin Hawkins writes again. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for the notifications, and keep coming back. Cheers.